I still have the sticky note, the one that was on my kitchen counter when the police swept my apartment, the one that was not there when I left. It says, "Next time, don't come home early." I need you to understand something before I tell you how it got there. I am not the kind of person who believes in things she can't explain. I have a 3.8 GPA. I see a therapist every other Thursday, and the last thing she said to me before all of this happened was, and I quote, "You are one of the most grounded people I work with. I don't watch horror movies, I don't read creepypasta, I don't believe in ghosts, demons, or anything that doesn't have a scientific explanation. I'm telling you all of this because I need you to believe me. What happened to my roommate and to me still has no explanation. None. Not from the police, not from her doctor, not from anyone. And it has been 14 months. 14 months, and I still check the hallway before I walk out of my bedroom. This is the story of the night I realized the person living in my apartment wasn't my best friend anymore. Maya and I had been roommates for 3 years. 3 years of sharing a bathroom, stealing each other's leftovers, and knowing exactly which floorboard to avoid at 2 a.m. so you don't wake the other one up. We met freshman year, bonded instantly over absolutely despising the same professor, Dr. Harmon, microeconomics. The man graded like he had a personal vendetta against every student who actually tried. But Maya was one of those people who made everything feel a little more manageable. She was warm, organized in that quiet way where you don't realize how much she's holding together until something's missing. Her side of the apartment always smelled like vanilla, this lotion she ordered in bulk from some small business online. She'd been using it since college. It was just her. That smell was her. She left sticky notes on the fridge, little things.
Don't forget to eat a real meal.
Your 3 p.m. alarm has been going off for 6 days. What is that for? She remembered my coffee order, my mom's birthday, the name of my dentist, without being asked, ever. She was that kind of person. So when she told me she had a 5-day work trip to Atlanta, leaving that Monday morning, I wasn't worried. I was just already a little lonely thinking about it. She packed the night before, set out her suitcase by the front door, and before she went to bed, she left one last sticky note on the fridge that said, "Meal plan on the counter, color-coded. Don't you dare just eat cereal for 5 days, Bria." I laughed. I told her I made no promises. Monday morning, I walked her to the door. She hugged me, that warm, vanilla-scented hug, and said she'd call me when she landed. I watched her roll that suitcase down the front path, get into her Uber, disappear around the corner. Everything was completely normal. That was the last normal moment I remember. Thursday night, my front door opened. 2 days early. I jumped up from the couch, genuinely happy.
Maya, you're back. Oh my God.
I pulled her into a hug before she even got through the door, and she hugged me back, but it was wrong. Her arms came up slowly, stiff, like she had to remind herself how hugging worked. And the smell, it wasn't vanilla. It was there, faintly, but underneath it was something else, something cold, like wet earth after rain. I pulled back and looked at her.
Everything okay? You look exhausted.
She smiled. Pause.
Long trip.
That pause. It was maybe 1 second, but it felt like she was searching for the answer. I told myself, she's just tired. Let it go. She went straight to her room. Door clicked shut. I turned back to the hallway, and that's when I saw it. Her suitcase, sitting right there, bone dry. It had been raining for 3 straight days. The next 48 hours, I spent trying to convince myself everything was fine. Maya stopped using her phone, completely. It just sat on the kitchen counter, screen dark, never lighting up, not once. We ate dinner together Wednesday night, pasta, and I watched her. I don't know why I watched her, but I did. Her fork moved, food left the plate, But I cannot tell you that I ever actually saw her chew or swallow. Not once. Then, 3 a.m. Thursday morning, I came out for water and she was standing in the kitchen, facing the wall, just standing there.
Maya,
She turned around slowly and smiled.
just getting water?
There was no glass in her hand. I checked the fridge the next morning. Her sticky notes were gone, all of them, replaced with just one in handwriting that looked almost like hers. Almost. It said, I called her office anyway. The receptionist picked
Hello?
up. I asked about Maya's Atlanta trip. There was a pause, long enough that I pulled the phone away to check the call was still connected. Then she said,
Maya never made it to Atlanta. She called in sick Monday morning. We haven't heard from her since.
I hung up. My hands were shaking so bad I nearly dropped the phone. I walked to Maya's bedroom door, slowly, like some part of me already knew. I knocked. Nothing. I opened the door. The furniture was pushed to the walls. All of it. The bed, the dresser, the nightstand, everything shoved back like something needed the floor cleared. And in the center of the room, Maya, sitting cross-legged, eyes open, completely still, staring at absolutely nothing.
Maya,
She turned, and she smiled, warm, wide, exactly like her. And that's what broke me. Because Maya smiles with her whole face. Her eyes crinkle, they light up. That's just who she is. This thing was only moving its mouth.
I called your office.
I whispered. Silence. 3 full seconds of silence. Then,
You shouldn't have done that.
Maya's voice, Maya's face, but something behind the eyes that made my whole body go cold.
She's been so patient. Don't ruin it now.
I ran, grabbed my keys, my phone, nothing else. I didn't look back, I didn't breathe, I just ran, down the stairs, out the door, into my car, and I drove until my mother's porch light was the only thing I could see. I called the police from my mother's driveway, hands still shaking, voice completely gone. They reached the apartment in 11 minutes. They found Maya in the bathroom cabinet, under the sink, curled up in that tiny dark space, dehydrated, terrified, but alive. She had come home early from Atlanta, sick, came straight back to the apartment, and something was already there, already inside, already waiting for her. The thing was gone by the time officers swept the rooms. No trace, no evidence, nothing disturbed except the furniture in that bedroom. Nothing except one thing. A sticky note on the kitchen counter that hadn't been there before. In that handwriting, that almost Maya handwriting, it said,
Next time, don't come home early.
Maya moved back home to her parents. We still text every day, but we never talk about it. Not directly. Never directly. Sometimes she sends me a voice note, and there's always a few seconds of silence before she starts talking. Like she's checking that she's alone first. I still don't know what was in that apartment. I don't know how long it had been there or where it went. But I'll tell you what I do know. Your body knows when something is wrong before your brain does. It always knows. Trust it. My dad passed in February. Lung cancer. Fast and cool. The way it always is. My sister and I had 3 weeks to clear out his house before the new owners moved in. 3 weeks to pack up 52 years of someone's life into boxes and just move on. I thought the hardest part would be the grief. I was wrong. The hardest part was the photograph we found in the wall. My dad was stubborn, funny in that dry, quiet way, and a historically terrible cook. The man once burned cereal. I don't want to talk about it. He kept every birthday card anyone ever gave him. 30 years worth, stuffed into a shoebox on his closet shelf. Never threw a single one away. His house was a 1970s two-story on a quiet street. The kind that creaks when the wind blows, but in a way that always felt safe. Like the house itself knew you. My sister Diane and I spent the first day packing, laughing at old photos, crying in separate rooms, so neither of us had to watch the other break down. Dad had 7 flannel shirts. 7. Identical. I don't know if he thought no one noticed, or if he simply did not care. Second day, I was pulling up old baseboards in the master bedroom. The house needed work before handover. Nothing major, just cosmetic stuff. But behind one section of drywall, I noticed something. A patch. Poorly done. Like someone had filled a hole years ago and painted over it, hoping nobody would look too closely. I looked closer. Behind it was a hollow space. Small, deliberate. And inside, a photograph. Old, black and white, yellowed at the edges like it had been sitting in that wall for decades. It showed a family standing in front of the house. A man, a woman, 3 children. Normal. Completely normal. Except, in the upstairs window behind them was another figure. Tall, dark, just watching. I flipped it over. On the back, in my father's handwriting, "Don't let it see you looking." I checked the date on the front. 1962. My father wasn't born until 1974. I showed Diane. She went pale. Completely pale, like the blood just drained straight out of her face. Then she said,
"I have to show you something."
She pulled out her phone, scrolled to a photo she'd taken that morning, the upstairs hallway. Empty. She'd taken it to send to a friend, something about the old wallpaper. But there, in the doorway of Dad's bedroom, barely visible, was a shape. Tall, dark, just standing there. "I thought it was a shadow," she whispered. I didn't say anything because I thought I was just tired, grieving. We called Mom. She broke down before we even finished explaining. Through the crying, she told us.
Dad had mentioned it once, years ago when they first moved in.
Something in that house. Something that watched from dark spaces. He never explained it, never talked about it again. We finished clearing that house in 1 day instead of 3. Neither of us went upstairs alone. Not once. Not even to grab something we forgot. We just left those things behind. The new owners moved in 3 weeks later. Young family. 2 kids. A boy and a girl. I drove past once and saw them playing in the front yard. Laughing. Completely unaware. I kept driving. I didn't know what I would say. I still don't. Sometimes I think about calling them, telling them to check the walls, leave the lights on, never look too long at a dark doorway. But then I think about my dad, living in that house for 22 years, raising us, keeping it quiet, keeping it contained, never saying a word, so we never had to carry it. Maybe some people are just built to carry certain things, so the people they love don't have to. I hope I'm that kind of person. I don't know if I am, yet.